James Gunn has confirmed the Lanterns team, saying, yes, it's true. The Lanterns DCU series is putting together a crack team of writers based on a wonderful pilot script and Bible by Chris Mundy, Tom King, and David Lindelof. Hero. Tell the people the hype level for this right now, today.
It's 10 out of 10.
Ooh. Wait, for real?
Yeah, I'm a huge Green Lantern fan, anything Lantern related, and knowing that it really does seem like they're putting respect and love into that character, a character that I feel like has been done well in animation, but done dirty very outside of it, and hasn't had, these group of characters haven't had their time in the light yet. And they should. All right.
Which color?
Yeah. And having, an all-star team with Chris Mundy, David Lindelof, who are screenwriters who have worked on a lot of different things. And then having someone like Tom King, who's an author, a comic book author that a lot of people like, knows how to write a very interesting and engaging story for the most part. I don't think he's worked on Green Lantern before. I could be wrong. I think he's maybe done like one or two one-shots, but not like a bigger run or miniseries. Hey everybody, so in doing some research after the live stream, he actually did write a 12-issue series, and it seems that it's focused on Kyle Rayner. Again, could be wrong. But again, a great author that really puts respect into the character that he's writing. So getting something like this for Lanterns, I'm very excited. I want to know more.
Yeah. It really feels like Lanterns right now is building some of the strongest foundation. And I think because Superman is so in everyone's face, and this is kind of the second run and stab at starting a cinematic universe with Superman. We didn't get Green Lantern in the DCEU, and everyone's like, hello, like, why do we not have that character? And there were mini teases and that kind of junk, and it's just like, it's just a part of the DCU that I really think, and Hero, you've even said this before, where like there's so many layers to Green Lantern, and most people, like, what does Green Lantern even mean? What does the lanterns mean? And just, I think the story that's going to be told here, top to bottom, regardless of the characters that they use, it seems like it's shaping up to be one of the better stories told, and it's going to create a portion of the DCU that's really going to feel like its own universe in a way within a universe. And like they could just run with lanterns, period, and it would be money.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how the general public react to something like the Lanterns, because I don't think many people, besides the 2000 movie, have really know much about Green Lantern, especially if you're not super into it. But also the fact is that we've been clamoring for like a space cop group between the MCU and DC for a while now, with Nova Corps and then them. So the fact that DC is kind of beating them to the punch and they're doing it with such love is really going to be a nice like niche they're going to carve out first. That way no one's going to be like, oh, well, that's like Marvel's X. It's like, no, this is its own thing. And then whenever they finally decide, all right, we're going to put Nova Corps in, people are going to be like, oh, dang, well, that's like DC's Green Lanterns. And it's like, yeah. But yeah, no, like you said, the amount of stories they can tell, I hope they don't waste them. I don't think they will, because again, it really feels like they're putting love into this. And the fact that James Gunn would at least even try to acknowledge a rumor about it shows that it's an important part of their release schedule. So, and I think this is going to tie into our deep dive nicely later. So we'll probably return to this again later on.
Yeah. Spider Man, one quick question here for
I'm excited
lanterns.
at the TV show.
Yeah, from a TV show perspective, what would it need to do for you from a visual aspect, given anything that you know about Green Lantern or the Lanterns period? Because a TV show may not have the budget, right? It depends. But I don't think that this is going to be a scenario where it's like Disney Plus where they're just throwing 200 mil at it and they're just like, here's the baseline. Really, it's kind of a, a blank check, do whatever you want. I think a key piece of this is going to be how it looks. And is there any way or anything that you would be like, hey, this, if they get this right, I think it probably has a good chance at success?
They need to get the suit and the suit, I guess, and just like the effects, right? Like the little like ring lightning effects, right? This is obviously the biggest issue with Green Lantern from Brian Reynolds was the CGI suit and just how bad everything looked power wise. So them getting like just practical regular suits, less
Mhm.
CGI involved, maybe obviously CGI to do the greens or do like the illumination stuff. But I could see them succeeding with some nice like practical effects when it comes to lighting
Yeah.
and all that. But Morgan is right. Green Lantern definitely does exceed in animation, so it will be hard to carry over, but with how technology is nowadays, they should be able to. Especially, I'm kind of like comparing it to Secret Invasion a lot just because of the greens. And the
Mhm.
budget for Secret Invasion was reportedly like insanely high, and they did not a lot with it visually. So they need to just do better than what Secret Invasion did when
Yeah.
it comes to a budget like that and handling their power scaling. Like they had Gaia's power just weird at the end of it. Um and it just needs to be like a nice brighter type show instead of darkness like the DCU had or DCEU had.
Yeah. It and I agree with you. I would also say maybe that another good like MCU series they could bounce off of and try to exceed is probably Miss Marvel, since it's very similar in terms of like
Mhm.
kind of power set
Yeah.
in a way. So I think if they're able to do better than that, because from what I remember, Miss Marvel isn't a bad looking series. Its problems are more in its story and tone and everything to some people, right? But yeah, if they're able to do better with that or than that, then I think they'll be okay. But also, to add to your point, I think as long as they also make the personality of the lantern stand out through their constructs,
Yep.
that's what's
That's
really going to push
that's my thing.
that's what's really going to push it. Because I know I already hear some people, oh well, how are they gonna, they all have the same thing, they all have the same power set, so it's gonna be kind of boring to see. No, they are vastly different when it comes to their
Yep.
constructs, and it
Yep.
shows in their personality through
Yep.
that. So again, if they're able to do that, the series will be absolutely fantastic.
100%. That's exactly where I'm at. And before we move on, it's my one word, it's creativity. If they can get creative and stay creative, the show is going to be extremely interesting all the way through. Because when they're not fighting or their powers aren't activated, it's going to be a good show, right? But I think the worst thing that they can do is everyone's using just a giant hammer and everyone's got a brick wall and everyone's got a machine gun or two hands that are slapping someone. Like, yes, there are some homages that they can play that are what people are just like, oh, that's fun. I know where that's from. But yeah, individualize, stay creative. I think that'll be clutch.
Look to Injustice. I hate saying that, but look to Injustice to kind of get some inspiration. And I will say also the Green Lantern movie does pretty well in terms of like them separating their personalities, because Sinestro was using more swords, Hal Jordan was using more, like a whole racetrack, and the whole the fighter jets as constructs to hold them against the sun, like stuff like that. That's where you can show off.
Yeah, that's fair.